Comprising a cross-sea bridge and undersea tunnel, the 55-kilometer-long Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is the longest structure of its kind in the world today. The bridge will link the Chinese regions of Guangdong, Hong Kong and Macau. It will also create a 56,000 square kilometer economic hub to rival the Tokyo, New York and San Francisco Bay areas. This mega project has been called the pinnacle of world bridge engineering. It embodies decades of successes achieved by China in bridge design and construction, materials research, engineering equipment development, and numerous other fields. It's a concentrated demonstration of China's strength. The final connection will decide the success or failure of the Great Bridge. The massive arm of the Jianhua 30 is on the move. Each sling is capable of bearing a 4-ton weight. This moment belongs to the Jianhua 30. Its arm, which can rotate 360 degrees, is capable of lifting 12,000 tons.
全世界没有人把一个6000多吨的东西去这么转一下，没有一个人敢在我们之前去转。
In the course of the past 4 years, Lin Ming and his team have successfully installed 33 undersea tunnel sections. However, the final section presents far greater difficulty as it must be connected at both ends. Below the surface, even when the sea appears calm, currents can be very strong. The crane ship must remain absolutely steady in order to insert the tunnel section with absolute precision. The huge crane ship, costing over 2 billion yuan and taking 4 years to complete, was built specifically for this job.
过去看是有什么装备，设计什么方案。你今天看我们港州，你想怎么干？我们国家现在都有能力制造一些专门的东西，能够干成。
With such strong technical support, China's construction workers need fear no adverse conditions, however daunting. The crane ship, after 4 hours of work, has got the tunnel section in place. Every maneuver has been calculated down to fractions of centimeters. Once the tunnel section is in the water, Lin Ming relies on a computer to guide the installation.
正在建设的超级工程港珠澳大桥迎来重大节点，海底隧道的最终接头。
Life is about to undergo a subtle change for more than 7.3 million people in Hong Kong and 650,000 in Macau. For the past 20 years, Feng Zetian has traveled regularly between Hong Kong and the Chinese mainland on business. With the bridge's completion, the trip will take just 30 minutes.
到了，很多人都不再会坐船，都会跑。港珠澳大桥时，我相信应该会影响蛮大，整个生活圈会影响很多。
The Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau Bay area will be a vast economic hub covering the Pearl River Delta and Xijiang River Economic Belt. By 2020, the area is expected to be leading the development of South and Southwest China and impacting the economies of Southeast and South Asia. After a sleepless day and night and working without rest for 17 hours, the team have installed the final tunnel section. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is connected. Through this project, thousands of engineers and workers have raised bridge and tunnel engineering to new heights.
This Malaysian commuter rail train was built by China's CRRC. So was this light rail train and this intercity train, said to be as fast as any in the world on a meter gauge track. CRRC is estimated to have an 80% share of the Malaysian rail market. And nowadays, these trains are being made right here at this plant in central Malaysia.
We have the capacity to build trains for trunk railway, intercity line, and urban mass transit. We could build subway cars, LRT cars, as well as high-speed rail, electric locomotive, or even magnetic suspended cars. We could build cars for meter gauge and standard gauge.
In recent years, Malaysia has invested more in its rail infrastructure than any other ASEAN country. It has undertaken a major expansion of the light rail network in Kuala Lumpur, is building a metro rail service, and is undertaking double tracking, electrification, and building extensions to its main rail network. The company says it puts strong emphasis on localizing its operations, building up skills in manufacturing and maintenance, finding and fostering Malaysian suppliers. About 80% of its workforce is now local. But when it comes to its products, CRRC is looking beyond the Malaysian market.
We always have eyes on the whole ASEAN region when putting a foothold here in Malaysia. We have attracted attention from other ASEAN countries, like receiving visits by railway delegations from Thailand and the Philippines this year.
Without doubt, the most enticing prospect in this region for global rail industry players such as China Rail Group and CRRC is the planned 350-kilometer high-speed rail link between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. And if called upon, CRRC confirms its Malaysian plant was designed and equipped to be able to build carriages for the HSR.
It's been locally dubbed the Beijing Highway, a new toll road that'll directly connect the Jamaican capital Kingston in the south with the resort beach city of Ocho Rios in the north. A 2-hour drive reduced to less than half, thanks to a $730 million project with funding coming from China.
As a company, we're very happy to have a chance, to provide our services to the Jamaican people.
More than 1,000 Chinese workers and 1,000 local Jamaicans spent 3 years building the road, officially called the North-South Highway. Difficult terrain required creative engineering solutions. Jamaica's Prime Minister said success was possible thanks to a, quote, good, strong bond and friendship between Jamaica and China.
And we intend to use those things to secure even greater investment, not just in infrastructure, but in tourism, in agriculture, in leisure and recreation, in building new cities, in water.
The highway, it's hoped, will play a crucial role in helping resuscitate Jamaica's economy. It's been burdened by large interest payments to international creditors that have left little room for domestic government spending. Jamaica gave the China Harbor Engineering Company, which built the highway, a 50-year concession to recover its costs. It also gave it land alongside the highway to develop for commercial and residential use. That could spell more jobs and more growth in the near future. And there's plans for more, including a new deep water shipping port. The investment amount double the cost of the highway.
We have accumulated some experience after 30+ years of reform. Now we are able to share what we have with our Caribbean friends.
Which is exactly the point, officials say. A partnership that, from here on out, will only accelerate. And the Chinese company here is not wasting any time. I asked some of the engineers working for them if, now that the highway has been opened, if they might relax a bit and enjoy Jamaica's beaches. They told me that they're still already busy working on the next project, a multi-platform project overseeing lots of infrastructure changes here in Jamaica, wasting no time. Michelle?
Well, it's a nice place to waste some time. Rory, speaking about the highway, there have been some disputes about toll prices. What are the details there?
And you know, this ceremony that we saw on Wednesday actually happened at the southernmost toll plaza of this new highway. It's really a very passionate domestic issue, and it's been played out within domestic politics. Some say that the toll prices that are being set by the Chinese as part of that concession, as their right to do so, have been set too high, that they may be off-putting for the average Jamaican whose income might be lower than what is necessary to really make use of that toll. We saw the criticism being made again at the ceremony by Portia Simpson, the leader of the opposition and the former prime minister, saying this criticism in front of the Chinese officials and delegates who are there. Separately afterwards, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, announcing that in discussions with the Chinese firm, they agreed that the tolls would be reduced by 25%. That's already been widely reported here, and many people welcoming that news. It's not just the Jamaicans, though, that will be using that highway. We do expect an influx of tourists from the north and the south to use it as well.
Back in the day of the ancient Silk Road, Turkey marked a critical juncture between East and West. The same is true today. Yet no longer is trade being carried on the back of animals. China's Belt Road Initiative is pushing Turkey to capitalize on their important geographical location. China Railway Construction Corporation and the China National Machinery Import and Export Corporation, in partnership with 2 Turkish companies, won the bid to build part of Turkey's fast high-speed railway line, linking the Turkish capital with the country's largest city. Nearly 1,500 kilometers of network track has been laid, with more than 2,300 kilometers currently under construction. Since the first line between Ankara and Eskişehir began operation in 2009, more than 31 million people have traveled using Turkey's fast trains. 33% of the country's population is now connected by these high-speed trains.
When we use the bus, it takes 6 to 6.5 hours, but with the train, it only takes 3.5 hours. Besides, it is more comfortable. The bus is a little bit a problem because we have children. High-speed train is better.
It provides faster and safer transportation. I personally find it more reliable than planes and cars. That's why I prefer it.
CGTN sat down with the Turkish Minister of Transportation to see just how all this has affected the country.
Starting from Eskişehir and up to Izmit, Chinese and Turkish firms were working together. The Chinese brought experience and a 1.7 billion Chinese-Turkey business partnership. Today, Turkey is currently effectively operating high-speed train lines of about 1,450 kilometers, while 3,800 kilometers of high-speed train line construction continues.
Nearly 26 million tons of goods were transported using the fast train lines in 2016. This efficient movement of trade is what's driving Chinese investment in high-speed railway networks all along the ancient Silk Road.
For traders, they are able to go to their trading place faster, and the economy of the country is coming to life. It is to bring all corners of the country together and bring them into one of the international corridors of transportation.
The Middle Corridor line through Turkey is expected to be completed in 2018, making the transportation of Chinese goods to Europe 4 times faster. China's export of fast train technology was the catalyst for Turkey's burgeoning fast train market, development that will not only serve Turkey, but the world.
The 480-kilometer railway line is the largest infrastructure project undertaken in Kenya since 1963, connecting Mombasa, the largest port in East Africa, to the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. It will reduce the cost and time taken to move goods from the coast inland. Passenger trains will travel at an average speed of 120 kilometers per hour, with cargo trains at 80 kilometers per hour.
I've traveled to Mombasa of late with a bus, and with the bus is 7 to 8 hours. I'm so excited about the new project. It's 4 hours, so I save 4 hours for other businesses.
Eagerly waiting for it after telling even my children, my own children, even my parents, when I told them the experience I had with, when I traveled to Mombasa, they are waiting for it to be open.
The Chinese standards themselves, they are so high and they are so good. At first maybe it was a little difficult to try to tune in, but right now everyone has styled up, everyone has tuned in, and by 31st we are going to give it the best shots.
Since its inception in September 2014, the project has created more than 38,000 jobs.
Chinese have done a lot of training to the Kenyan team to maintain the standard gauge railway in future. So I think a lot of us have really developed a character which is noble and which is goal-oriented character, which will help each and every one of us not only maintain the standard gauge railway, but also develop the country as well and as a whole.
The SGR is built by the China Road and Bridge Company at a cost of $3.8 billion. Most of the funding has been provided by China's Exim Bank. Eventually, the railway line will be expanded into other East African nations.